That Malkachoa was bad.
Lava will be on sea!
Ah, okay. Standing tall amongst the wolves inhibiting the cavern, this creature turns face you as you venture forward, scores of wounds and scars riddle its hide, and one dull eye stares out blindly from its skull. It growls at stride as you approach, one echoed by its fellows. Lore 4, you know this half-wolf for its spirit-shifted form of a druid, although you seem no gleam of kith intelligence within its gaze. As the creature's feet lie two villagers, one heavily wounded, the other holds an arm across his stomach. He looks up at you with pleading,
Help! Please help us!
As the beast turns its head towards the hunter, you sense a strange aura emanate from it. It is as if its hide were holding a tempest of soul essence, fierce and all-consuming flame. Reach out for the beast's cell. Dexterity. Throw a torch as a distraction. Can you understand me? Distraction. You fling a torch at the beast and it gives a sharp yelp as the torch bounces off its hide with a burst of embers. The beast leaps away from the hunters, trembling in his panic, but the wolves surge forward, snarling. Dang it! Should have reached out with the soul thing. Why is he on his back? I'm just gonna leave these victims just to die, even though they're all happy that their life was saved. It's kind of weird.
It ever occur to you that maybe those dukes sent you here to screw things up?
It takes a paranoid mind to dream up a scenario where that makes any sense.
Hate to piss on your daisies, but them dukes will sell you out when it suits them.
My life is theirs. I don't question how it will end. So long as it... we don't have much ice on the south.
As you walk towards the frozen pond, a figure appears through the mist. Kneeling down next to a hole on the ice, the figure picks up a large chest and throws it into the water without hesitation. The figure looks around. You glimpse a face you've seen before. Qexetl, one of the Lilia's acolytes, pulls a hood over his head, throws a leather bag over his shoulder. Without looking back, he walks away in the direction of the Stellar village. Not too shady, since that's what he's supposed to do anyways. Alright. Cloudy water is visible through a large hole cut through the thick ice. It's larger than a fishing hole, wider than a broad set auma. Okay. Judging by its location, the hole appears to be at the position marked on the map you found in Qexetl's notebook. Stirred, the surface of the water laps against the layered ice. You reach out to test the water. It nips at your fingers with every ripple, quickly numbing your hand after a few seconds. Inspect the area, look through the water at the bottom of the pond, read. So the area, okay, so carefully inspect the surroundings. Animal tracks are plentiful, but what appears to be the footprints of Kith are also present near the hole. Look closer into the hole, you notice a jagged ring of frost adhering to its walls. It's been rebroken perhaps more than once. Read the notes. The notebook contains underlined notes. They read, Notex charcoal. Formality first, of course, she come up. She's a good girl. Looks here. Just, yeah, see, that doesn't make any sense what's going on. So let's just read Notek, I guess. Moments after you utter the words, bubbles rise from the depths. Shadow appears under them, growing larger until the surface of the water breaks in a big splash. What the hell? Sealy creature stares at you from the hole with bulging eyes, opens his mouth wide. Words form with difficulty between rows and sharp teeth. Catch it. The young Legath seems unafraid of your presence, tilts its head, continues to stare at it, waiting for something. Okay, read the notebook. Kalu Mika. The Lagfath cocks its grotesque head to the side, focusing on you with one eye. Its nostrils suddenly flare open. The creature inhales the cold air with a hissing sound before diving down to disappear underwater. Only the occasional bubbling rising from the surface indicates the thing is still swimming underneath the frozen pond. Long minutes pass by. The cloudy waters seem to stir. Dark form again grows under the hole. Bulky shape emerges, spilling a wave of water out from its chest. It's a chest. Under it, hosting it upwards, like fishes, rows of teeth, and what might be a smile. The creature pushes the chest to the side and dives down again. Process repeats until several chests, all identical, lie next to the hole. The thing breathes hard through wooden nostrils. It turns its head to the side to stare at you. A new smile seems to be formed, one of anticipation, and follows it by opening its mouth in your direction. Blah, blah, blah. Read this last one. Its eyes bulge out of the sockets in excitement. With a mouth open wide, the creature tries to repeat the words between clicking glances. Feeds the fish to the... Yeah, I'll feed it. You grab a good portion of your stabbed fish and toss it into the creature's mouth. It snaps its jaws and swallows it with one gulp. Nears its eyes in satisfaction and inhales to rinse its breath. Cocks its head to one side. It bares its teeth, chuckling and fish daggering before stripping back down. Okay. You switch your attention to the chests that lie about to cut on the ice. They bear Andra's symbols. You grab one of them and pray its lid open to reveal the content. Inside you see are rocks. You shake the surprise off and grab another chest. The same results greet you after opening. There are more rocks. Nothing is absurdly amiss. Proof of your findings. Alright. Alright. A group of elves stand in a scattered ring around an ogre, but they do not appear to be engaged in battle. The ogre is bound with rope. This is pointless. You won't get anywhere being so stubborn. Snorts. Alright, rather sad specimen for an ogre. You're a long way from home. Punch the nearest elf. Might you aim a solid punch at the elf's face, but the blow only sends her trembling. We're under attack! South area, don't damage my property, bring me the fool's head. I don't know.
Don't see many on these roads, and the few we do are hunters, woodcutters, or smugglers.
Cocks an eyebrow at you and gives you a half smile. She holds herself with a competent grace, conspicuous holster and slung her one hip. Behind her is a wagon loaded with supplies, manacles dangling from one end. Oh. Which are you, a hunter, wizard, or a smuggler? Dafta, is it? You're the slaver who's after Elf. Well, so much for subtle
And here
approach.
I was thinking we'd found the last pleasant company on the road. I'm after him, all right.
Hands dropped to her
He's
again.
going to answer for his crimes in Raid Ceres. And one way or another, you're going to stay out of my way. Didn't tell you that part, did he? First off, he chose his indentureship. Had to make up for some bad luck at cards, I hear. More importantly, he murdered his master's son, 13-year-old boy. Killed him as he fled.
Well, if it's killed while you're fleeing, I'm not sure if it's full. Guilt, save it, saver. I help you. Can't believe a man seeking his freedom. I'm with Elf. Should pay for his crime. He lied to me. I'm got him belonged to him in prison, not in Sarah's pen.
His master sees it differently. Shame we couldn't do business.
Yeah, whatever. Let's kill him.
Let us end this!
Yes, that was necessary. That horse was staring at me differently, and just corrupted by the gods of chaos. A few odd and ends lie scattered by the path. There appears to be a struggle here, but the evidence is half buried underneath the thick blanket of snow. Whips of essence hover in the chilly air. Soul fragrance plunging in your memory. Your name is Ygadr. You've never been more than 20 miles from home, let alone to White March, and yet you've been climbing steadily higher for a week now. The air is too thin, your clothes are too light, you barely got another 3 days worth of food with you, but you've never felt better. You only had a handful of fainting spells since you began your journey. You've had as many as a single day before, but the dreams have been the best part. Despite the frozen rocky ground and the screeching winds, sleep has found you each night and brought you visions of majestic peaks wrapped in snow. The cold is but a sweet ache in your bones. As you hike into the wind, you feel the ache spreading along the certainty that you're getting closer to him or her, your soul twin. Stranger whose soul mirrors your own, one of the few people in Eora who could understand the constant torment of a split soul, the only person who would help you relieve it. Something approaches you through the shroud of snow ahead. You feel a throbbing presence like a heartbeat through linen. You know, the vision ends abruptly. You find yourself staring at your scattered belongings while his illusion. Interesting. Let's go how they. Yeah, definitely figure out how that died.
Let us end.
You peer into the pool, the water is perfectly clear, but you don't see anything of note. Journal. Good Irish journal. Most of the few remaining pages are ruined with mud, but you make out an entry near the end of the journal. Slaw tag. Woke up this morning and saw my toes had turned blue. Spent the last of my fuel warming them up, but it only took me an hour to start the campfire this time. How far I've come. Passed the village yesterday and thought about stopping. A warm bed and proper meal would have been a treat after almost a week in these mountains, but I don't want to lose track of the soul twin, but not when I'm so close. I dreamt of the cave behind the waterfall last night. I think that's where I'm find him. I'm not sure what else I could mean, but I better. Next page is missing, the rest of it unreadable. Dang! Alright, so cave behind the waterfall. Yeah, interesting. Oh, that guy got away.
Not quite. That's it!
Ceres! Freros! Ceres!
That's not.
Oh, that's interesting. Alright, so Bitter Spirit Stone Tech. Tower looks like it was carved from the stone of the cliff. The entrance is collapsed and sealed within ice, but you imagine that it commands an impressive view of the valley below.
Lava,
beyond, seek.
Yes? Lava will be on seek. Rift. Let us end.
The devil went down!
Oh?
Alright, behind a frigid current of water is an alcove. I don't know how to pronounce that. Its walls filled with ice. In the middle of the rough stone pedestal see a rough stone pedestal, also glazed with ice from the fall. A crucible hilt and tampered blade protrude from the pedestal. Sword in the stone. Judging from the size of the hilt and apparent length of the blade, you infer that isn't a stoic. Move in, pull it up in stone, examine the area. Alcove and stone pedestal, a little more than dilapidated ruins. Ice pries cracks in the stone, coats this thick floor. What little of it you see appears to be in better condition. It seems odd that anyone leave it here. However, as you get close to it, you hear that sound like the screams and shouts of tormented souls. Perception. Alright, we're gonna go downstairs. Yes. Oh, wait, hold on. These panels have been worn smooth. In one you can just detect the shape of the sword, and another stocky body of a dwarf. Trace fading, outline shape panel. They want to see with relief.
Certainly.
Alright, let's go down here and see what's good.
If you say so. Got it done.
Ha! Nice. Alright, well, it's not too bad. Frostbite. She's the only one that got frostbite. Alright. Let's see what happens. Let's talk. Alright, so Zahawa.
My thoughts wander often to the lost builders of this fortress we seek. They were erased from the world. I wonder, was it meant to be so?
Alright, so we got everything happens with a purpose, even if it's unclear to us. No one deserves that. If they all kill each other, then they'd had it coming. Maybe there's still traces of them. If They are meant to continue, or surely gods would have intervened. I would say, based on this game, I'd say number 4. Maybe there's traces of them.
After 2 centuries, I would not hold out hope. All things fade, and always sooner than we wish.
Yeah, but you're not me. You don't have the crazy soul powers.
Didn't think there was anything more than lice and hoarfrost to these folk, but you had a look back there. What do you find when you're rooting around like that?
The fabric of a soul, things I'd rather not see, nothing important, usually someone else's bad choice, lice and... First, tell me the reason you wanted to follow me. There we go.
Mayhap I'm looking for someone. Woodcutter, by the name of Harmka.
It doesn't have anything to do with the Coldmorn, does it?
It sure does.
Fingers tightening into the fist, the metal squealing and
He
rattling.
was one of them. The mob that destroyed Cold Morn. I tracked him to Stalwart years ago, but got caught before I could finish my business.
You want me to help you murder someone. It's been 13 years and you're still after him. I'm with you. Tell me what I need to know about him.
Oh, don't go all soft on me. He's had it coming. This man, Harmka, I saw him outside my house the night it burned, staring into the flames the way I seen you stare into souls. I knew it were a fool's errand trying to hunt down every man and woman that carried a torch into Coldmorn. But if I knew I got the one responsible for my kin and my hearth, I might could rest easy.
That's fair. How can you be so sure about the hawk fellow? What does this have to do with me?
I took a good long look that night. Ours was a little place with a yellow door right on the edge of town. He was there. Besides, I asked around when I first got to Stalwart. Townsfolk said that all the woodcutters in town took part in the purge. Point of pride for them. I told you he was part of the mob. I spotted him watching my house when it burned. But when we find him, I want to know if he's the one responsible for my home, my parents, and my brothers and sister. I never thought I'd have the chance to know for sure. But you could look into his soul and find out. You being a watch, mighty fine of you. Don't know where he dallies these days, but someone in Stalwart could tell us.
Interesting. So, Galvino said you murdered several people before you transferred you.
Effigy's eyes, that man loved to talk.
Tell me why you killed those people. Did you really do it?
If it's sane and logical reasoning you're wanting, you're gonna be disappointed. Ain't no sense in any of it.
Okay, so she went crazy. I've heard parts of the story from others. Rather hear the rest from you.
Mayhap you've heard of Coldmore. Was a quiet, forgettable patch of the woods. Till a pack of rabid clodhoppers set it afire. A farmer on the other side of the mountains woke up one day with his head all aflame and took it for the gibbering speech of his god. And so did a few thousand of his countrymen. So when he tired of Vorlus fields and marched west, a horde of armed Hicks followed. Bunch of fool nonsense is what I'm talking about. But others have called it the same. If you know that much, then you've heard of Cold Morn. Ours was the village that let a few thousand of Widewind's troops pass through.
Dude, I wish I had the other guy, Aiden, in this conversation. Why don't you try to stop the raid Karen?
They had us clean beaten numbers. Even bumpkins like us figured that. Just look at Mercy Vale. They fought back. And now there ain't one stone standing atop another in the whole village. Besides, we asked the Duke for help. Told him Widewind's troops was coming through the mountains. Seems he had better uses for his soldiers. So we let Widewind's soldiers pass. Left him for the Duke to wrangle on his own terms.
So Coldmore was purged in retaliation.
Was after the Godhammer made a fine grit out of Widewind, when Deerwoodens were running on rage and looking for something to burn. They came at dark, hundreds of folk. Every one of them mourning someone lost in the war. Must have decided it was our duty to escort their dead back to the wheel. They didn't light their torches till they had us surrounded. Time we saw 'em, there was a ring of fire closing around us. I woke, ran to the window. Whole village were a maze of flames. Couldn't see nothing for the smoke. And the screams. Most ran for the streets, got caught by the mob. Others hid, let their houses burn down around them.
What does that have to do with a crime? Someone. Okay, so sorry. Terrible.
You're the only person in the Deerwood who thinks so. Me, I'm surprised the Duke didn't make our massacre a festival day. Hunting down the men and women what took part. Thought that much was clear.
I mean, it was, but just had to make sure. But you only killed people who attacked Cromwell, right?
Sure.
Huh.
You want me to tell you straight? I found the men and women what destroyed my village, and I burned their houses down around them. Sometimes they was alone, and sometimes they wasn't.
You're a monster. I'm impressed you couldn't have hope to get them all.
It were a mob that destroyed our village, but it was just one man that burned my family's house. Kept hoping I'd get to him as I was working my way through the rest of those maggots. No matter now, I suppose.
Alright, you and Galvino had a union.
Only kind to have with someone like him. Or me.
Resent him. How long have you two known each other?
No other way to feel about the man who flayed my living soul.
Ooh.
Around about 13 years. Too long, you ask me.
And you made you.
He'd spread butter on bread and claim he made something. Never been accused of modesty, that man. He managed to stuff my soul into this heap of bronze, true enough. Maybe that makes him a genius. Also makes him a son of a bitch.
Why did you ever consider murdering him? Did you ever?
Every day. Just kept putting it off. It's not like either of us was going anywhere. Looked after his tools, cleaned the workshop, swung the sledgehammer. Oh, and snatched up travelers for his soul tinkering. All those other golems, where did you think they came from? But don't you worry. They were all bad folk. Just so you know, you got a real professional working for you. Yeah, I've had enough of him too. There weren't much to say about it. By my reckoning, that means it was pretty good. Ma was a trapper, taught me to set snares and dress game. Dad was a tinker. I never had his patience, but it were fun to watch him. My brothers and sister, they was good folk too. Part of me's glad they ain't here to see me now. Just 'cause I'm made of metal don't mean I got any special fondness for smiths and forges. No more'n what Galvino already told you. Long as we get to Harmco, we can search whoever you please. Let me know if you need someone in... nothing specific. Only the last group, one before you. There was something different. Couldn't put my finger on it, but they was dangerous. Almost felt ain't felt that way about anyone else. Till you walked through. Murder, track.
Alright, there we go. We're gonna finish this by trying this thing. Alright, move in to pull the weapon from the stone. Who will go? I mean, let's try this one. Devil crosses in the falls, grasping beneath the cold water, shivers breath, pattern of falling water flickers across the blade. Devil approaches it, grabs the hilt. The hate and fear and violence of the dozen mad, gibbering voices fills the head. Mind shudders through a wave of mental pain, starting to hold the voices back, grunts, keep holding on. The devil maintains a tight grip. Eventually, Della gains the measure focus through the clamoring voices. Yet, just as devil of course breathing steadies, the cacophony subsides. Something pulls the devil's arm forward. It only looks as if Zena is holding a heavy, painful burden. Devil could probably pull the exotic free, but it's testing without constant effort. Draw the static intelligence. Brace against the pedestal to pull the static out. Devil climbs on top of the pedestal and adapts his wide stand by leverage. The blade is fine, sturdy steel. Peering closer, Devil sees part of the poem. 'Tis a traitor's fate to sleep and never rest. With the knowledge of his deed stays lodged within his breast. But earnest penance heals the sorrow of man, and worthy actions stay the executioner's hand. After working on this, it is able to pull it free. Yet when it tries to release the weapon, it remains stuck in the finger. Something within the weapon's grasp as the soul binding it. Interesting. Well then, there we go. Let's just select all of them.
Certainly.
Almost done exploring this area. Hey, it's something underneath the waterfall. There we go. Alright. See you guys in the next episode.